Hello, everyone. Hey, y'all, it's me, Dr. Lynn Daniel, PhD, EDS. I am the self care evangelist, and I teach about the importance of self care. All right. So, what does that entail? Today, we're going to continue to look at locus of control, this concept about how we internalize our existence. I guess you could say that's one way to describe locus of control. It's our internal psychological frame of reference, really. And it's how we engage with the world around us. So it's very interesting. If you didn't watch my first video, go back and check it out so that you can get an idea of what I covered on video one. This is video two of the series on locus of control. And I want to know how many of you have heard of this concept, locus of control? How many of you have heard of it? Leave a comment and let me know. Have you heard of it? Okay, so what is locus of control? It is the degree to which people believe that they are being like pushed around in their lives, victimized in their lives. They are being opposed by external forces that interrupt, disrupt their life, or they have more of a perspective where they do have control over the outcomes in their lives, where they are internally driven and they have choice. Okay? Rotter developed this concept in the decades ago. You can check for the date, but it's decades ago. And so locus of control refers to an individual's perception about the underlying main causes of things that happen to them in their lives. Okay, so that gives you the definition. Now, I do want to tell you all that I am not a healthcare professional. I am an educator. So everything that I share with you is for educational purposes. So thank you for being here and for watching this video. I am going to add the slides that I used in the first video, but I did enter more slides for you so that you can start to like conceptualize this, how it looks on the job, how it looks in your home, okay? So locus of control is the belief that people have about whether they can control things that happen to them or not. And then you have the internal locus of control and individuals who are, now listen, let me say it right now. We each have a measure of both in us, but we have one that is more dominant in how it directs how we interact with life, decisions, and things, and living. So internally, that internal locus of control, those individuals who function under that dominant perspective, they believe that they can control the things that happen to them. And individuals who function under the dominant external locus of control are more victimized in their mentality, and they think that things happen to them based on external factors. Now, we know that in life, you do have both situations. There are times when you are fully in control, and there are times when other things, external factors, are fully in control. But your your dominant mindset will determine your ability to navigate change, difficulties, challenges, make decisions, and really function in life. Let's proceed. All right, I like this image here because it shows you a visual of what I just said. So people with an internal locus of control have higher levels of self-esteem. They are go-getters. They're not afraid to take a challenge and to take and like an educated risk, if that's the way to put it, or a calculated risks, one that they have investigated and measured. And these individuals go after what they want. They're not fear driven. Okay. External locus of control individuals who function under that dominant mindset, it's difficult for them to move beyond, like to make a decision, because they are stuck, and maybe they haven't learned, maybe their life experiences have taught them to function this way. Maybe it's genetic, maybe it's biochemical, but whatever it is, it's good for us to recognize these mindsets, because when we identify our dominant mindset, our dominant perspective, then we are able to better position ourselves and plan for our lives, and examine our lives and see, like, why, question our decisions and things of that nature. So that's the whole point of me covering this information, because a part of self-care is learning and growing. It is increasing your knowledge base to help you to become a high value person. Now, what do I mean by high value? A person who can contribute not only to your self-care and well-being, but to the self-care and well-being of your loved ones in your home, your family, your community. So you start with the self. So when you're able to begin to take better care of yourself on all levels, not just, getting a manicure and getting a massage, not just riding your bicycle every day of the week, not just eating nutritiously and that type of thing. Those are important, but self-care is all encompassing. So I'm going to take a moment and invite you to go check out the International Self-Care Foundation's website, isfglobal.org, so you can see the self-care matrix, the 7 pillars of self-care, and the self-care pyramid. Okay? All right, so let's get back to locus of control. Okay, again, that's reinforcing internal and external. So, externally driven people, at one point in my life when I was younger, and I didn't know a lot about how life worked, or I didn't really have any expertise or very much. I had a knowledge base based on experience for my age. And I'm thinking back to when I was adolescent. A lot of my thinking was luck, thinking that luck was the determinant factor in my life. And then as I began to develop my intellect, read, and like spend time with people who were well read and who had a lot of experiences, like with traveling and attending different schools where they were learning more than I was learning, or even at my school, because the high school I attended was a great high school, and just broadening my circle of influence and engagement, being around students who knew a little more than me or a lot more than me, really began to help me shift from thinking that luck and, like, chance weighed more and was more of a determining factor in life processes. It really took me learning. And that's the importance of education, because as you begin to understand, like, the scientific method, how cause and effect work, how risks, you know, the types of risks to take, and probability, right? You start learning all of those scientific ideas and conceptual ideas, it helps you to be able to like figure out things in life. Figure even it helps you to even improve making inferences and educated guesses about life. Okay? All right. Moving on. So I like this slide because look how it's organized. Things in the center, things you can control. You can control your thoughts, your actions, your decision. No matter what locus of control is dominant in your mind, you can control your thoughts, actions, and decisions. And we all could use help in any of those areas. Sometimes you need help with learning how to control your thoughts. You have to learn actions to take to control your thoughts. Okay, activities to engage in to control your thoughts, things to do to control your thoughts, that inner voice. Okay, and then experts, those experts can teach you what to do to control your thoughts and to gain a hold of your thinking. And then finally, there's medicine. If it's beyond your ability to control, then you have a doctor. Okay, that's a part of self-care, having your self-care team. But know that you can't control your actions and your decisions. Okay, those are the things you can't control: thoughts, actions, decisions. And the things you can influence. So when you influence, people are persuaded by your actions, your words, because they trust you or they see the results you are getting. And so they begin to mimic you, that mimetic behavior. People learn through observing other folks, like on your job. You, especially if you're new, you learn by observing someone do the job and then you do it. You ask a lot of questions, right? So you're being influenced by the individual that you are modeling, that you're mimicking. And so you can influence other people's actions, choices, and on your job, you can influence your team's response to change if they're resistant. Your family's response to change. Let's say that, you know, you embark on the journey, the challenge journey with me, and you decide that you're going to make changes in your family's diet or menu, or maybe their schedule or something, you know, incorporating that family huddle time where you all get together and you start having these light discussions first during the huddle time, light check-ins where how did your day go? What did you learn at school today? Share with me your projects or some activity you did at school, or you could share what you did at work or at home, right? You start light on a light topic that isn't very heavy or that doesn't require change, right? And then you move into you move as you all have established family huddle time, like 4 weeks. You have it once a week. You've done four. Then you can move into that fifth one. You can announce, okay, at our next family huddle, we're going to discuss changes in our menu. And I want you all to go and find one, two, or three of your favorite recipes, or however you want to say it, of your pictures of your favorite meal or recipes for your favorite dish, and have them ready for the family huddle. And then on the family huddle day, everybody comes together and they share the recipes and the pictures. And then You can tell them, okay, we are going to incorporate some slight changes in our diet, whatever it is. If this, y'all know I'm using this as an example, right? It can be the change, can be any change that your team needs to make. And right now, I'm giving you an example of your family being your team. Because a part of self care, again, is yes, you get yourself under control and you start working on your care yourself. And as your family observes you, they are going to want to know, what are you doing? How did you build so many muscles? How did you strengthen uh, yourself? How were you able to do X, Y, and Z? And that is your influence on them. And then you educate them so you can influence people. But the things you cannot control, there are so many of them, like the economy, traffic, the weather. You can plan for them, but you may not be in full control of them. You do not have to be a victim of them. You can learn as much as you are able to about the economy, increases in prices. Then you set a budget, and then you begin to establish a plan of attack. You find out that the traffic routes are changing in your community on your route to where you have to go daily, and you plan for it. That means I'm going to need to leave home 10 minutes earlier every day, or I may have to leave home 15 minutes earlier every day and take a different route. So, see, even though you cannot control these things, you can plan for them. And the person with the external, who is dominant in the external locus of control, will feel victimized by these things they cannot control. And I'm here to tell you, even though I only found one research that is addressing, I found one piece of literature that is reorienting locus of control in individuals who have offended the law and they are in incarcerated, and they are using a good lives model, which is a strength based approach to rehabilitation of individuals who have offended. This is an within the GLM is an external locus of control is suggested to be associated with the deficit in the primary good of agency. So people who are externally who are dominant in the external locus of control, if they do not learn skills to help them overcome and reorient away from that, they will have a lot of issues. And we all have something in our lives, some area in our lives where we are highly driven by that external locus of control. And I know what mine are, and what you do once you recognize them, you develop a plan. You develop a plan, okay? And there's help to help you develop plans. Okay, so now this image comes from a study that was done, a survey that was taken regarding careers. Am I happy with where my career is right now? And look at it. The individuals who are predominantly driven by that um, external locus of control, they have low internal locus of control. They are not happy with where their career is right now, right? You see that? So the red and the orange. The moderate, so these are individuals who are maybe not dominant in the external locus of control, but they have some areas where external locus of control is more active, actively functioning in their thinking, so that it's moderate. So those individuals are a little more happier with their career right now than the individuals who have moderate and low internal locus of control, because they're driven by external locus of control, and they don't feel like they can control anything. They feel like they can't control much. So they're not happy with their career. But look at the greens. Moderately high internal locus of control individuals and high internal locus of control individuals are happy with where their career is right now, because they feel that they can make those choices and decisions for themselves on their jobs. Okay, so look at the personality snapshot. So this is looking at like what kind of it's looking at your job, your health, stress, um that type of those areas. So locus of control, your personality snapshot. So if you are, well, I can't point because you won't see it. The column on the left, external locus of control. These individuals believe success or failure is a result of luck, chance, fate, powerful people interfering with their lives, which, I'm not saying that they're not, those things don't happen, but fate, luck, chance happens. So it can happen, but not, it's not a regular occurrence. It's a miracle. Okay. Powerful others can interrupt your life, but everything isn't powerful other people interrupting your success. Okay. So external locus of control focus tends to be, those individuals tend to be negative, give up easily, they don't try, will not initiate contact or attempts to repair damaged relationships. They work better when the pace is automated. They feel victimized by illness and stress and take less preventive action. Correlated with emotional instability, anxiety, and neuroticism. Feel more anger and perceive others to be less friendly. So these mindsets, it's very essential that we examine them, we identify them in ourselves, and we help our families identify them. But first we get ourselves in check. So then we can teach our families and our communities. Because to continue with a high degree of external locus of control, it seems to indicate like a lot of negativity in your self care, in your relationships, in your career, with your health. Okay, individuals who are dominantly internally, they have a high level of internal locus of control. They believe that they have control of personal successes and failures. They do better in jobs where they can set their own pace. They are more health conscious and seek medical attention when needed. They are less prone to stress related illnesses, anxiety, or depression. They have high achievement and they expect to perform well, and they are more independent and more achieving and more dominant. All righty. I think that's the last new image. Yes. So, locus of control is necessary for us to understand it and to measure it so that we can help understand why individuals act the way they do, even our own children, our own family members, our own selves, individuals in our communities that we navigate, our places of worship, our groups and clubs, um, our teams. Okay, being understanding locus of control can also help you predict how individuals might react in certain situations. So if you're planning, you can be considerate of their needs. So the implications for locus of control and understanding it and studying it is is high or high. The implications are far reaching. All right. So I wanted to come back and do a second video covering the topic of locus of control. And I think it's very important for you to know that the challenge will be coming up very soon. And I will be opening the challenge very soon. I'm helping you all to understand like the mindset. What do you need to do well on a challenge? Some people can just jump into a challenge and endure it to the end and do well. But it's important for us to do some self-examination so that we can plot out our endurance. What will happen when I hit this roadblock? What am I going to do? How will I respond? So I'm priming you or I'm preparing you for the challenge by sharing some information that is required for you to do well on a challenge. And then I will give you all the details. So if you want the Rodder's Locus of Control survey, the questionnaire, you can Google that and you will find it, or you can DM me and request it, and I will give you the link or upload it for you, or however, I will share it with you. All right, everyone. I want to thank you so much for watching this video. Thank you very much. And let's see. I need to exit full screen. All right. Thank you all so much for being here. Again, I'm Dr. Lynn Daniel, PhD, EDS. I am an educator. I am the self-care evangelist, and I will be starting a challenge very soon. So you be on the lookout. All right. Be blessed, folks. Bye.